It's time to predict the scores of game week 29 of this 2024-2025 EFL season. It's relentless, isn't it? Another round of fixtures. A lot of these players playing 3 matches in 7 days. We've got a huge game on Monday evening between Burnley and Leeds United at Turf Moor. We've got a fixture on Friday evening where Sheffield United take on Hull City as well. But that's not where we'll be starting our predictions this game around. No, that'll be at Ashton Gate. So we start with our predictions Saturday at 3 o'clock, where we've got Bristol City taking on Blackburn Rovers. Bristol City draw in midweek. Decent enough 2-2 Desmonds with Sheffield Wednesday, and Blackburn Rovers. Now it's 4 defeats in their last 7 matches. A disappointing 2-0 scoreline against Coventry. In this one, I'm going to have to go with the Wurzels. I think they're going to nick this at home with a 1-0 victory. We then move to Turf Moor, where Burnley take on Leeds United. You could call this one a Battle of the Roses. Earlier in the season, I think it was back in September, where Burnley won this fixture at Elland Road 1-0. Both of these teams in fine form, both winning in midweek, with Burnley with that thumping of Plymouth 5-0. Leeds with a straightforward 2-0 win against Norwich. In this one, I think it's going to be very tight, could go either way, but I'm going to favour the home side. I think it'll be very, very narrow, and I can see Burnley winning this one 1-0. Then we move to the Cardiff City Stadium, and I will be in attendance, hopefully with Nathan, if he's recovered from his recent illness. Bluebirds taking on Derby in a very, very important counter for both of these sides. Derby losing 6 of the last 7 matches, finding it hard to score as well. 1-0 defeat against the Black Cats in midweek. And Cardiff rescuing a point with Yusuf Selek in the 97th minute to draw 2. Millwall, this one, I think Cardiff made 5 changes midweek. I think they'll probably bring a few of the players who beat Swansea last weekend in that 3-0 South Wales derby. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win, but predicting that fills me with dread, which means it'll probably end up in a draw or a loss for the Bluebirds. Next up, we go to Ricoh Arena, where Coventry City take on Watford. Coventry back-to-back wins. Watford, don't know what to make of them. Sometimes they play well, sometimes they don't. Very, very inconsistent. I think Coventry will take all 3 points here, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 home win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Watford take the spoils in this match. We then move to Kenilworth Road, where Luton Town take on Millwall. Millwall, tough team to beat, but they can be got at the back. Luton, dreadful form. Look at that, 5 defeats in the last 6 matches. Disappointing reverse against their local rivals, conceding goals as well. Do you know what? I think Millwall can take all 3 points here in a narrow 1-0 away win. Next up, we got Norwich coming up against the Jacks, Swansea City. Swansea defeated last time out and last weekend. They had Harry Darling, their centre-back, sent off against Sheffield United, and Norwich's back-to-back defeats against Leeds and Sheffield United. 2 tough cookies to crack themselves in this one. Swansea could get a draw here, but I just going to edge it to Norwich in a 2-1 home win. We then move to Deepdale, where Preston take on Middlesbrough. This one, another tough one to call. Could go either way, but I am going to go for a draw, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 score. We head to Loftus Road, where QPR take on Sheffield Wednesday. QPR, 4 wins on the bounce. Sheffield Wednesday, a draw last time out, haven't won in the last 3. 2-2 with Bristol City. Either of these sides could win here, but I'm going to favour it to QPR. I think they'll take all 3 points in a 3-1 home win. We then move to Bramall Lane, and this one of course takes place on Friday evening. Sheffield Wednesday getting back to winning ways now. Nice little run, 3 wins on the bounce. A win against Swansea midweek. Hull City, after their good fortunes, came up against a decent side in QPR, and I think Sheffield United would be too much for the Tigers here, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 home win to the Blades. We then move to the Bet365 stadium with Stoke City. We've just one win in the last 7, take on Oxford United, who are having a great run of form at the moment. A decent 3-2 win against Luton, and they came from behind in that match. Can they get all 3 points in this one? I do fancy a draw, and I am going to go for a draw. This is a real important match for Stoke City, with them trying to get away from the relegation zone. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. Then move up to the north east, where Sunderland take on Plymouth. Plymouth hopeless at the moment. 5-0 against Burnley. Last weekend it was a 1-0 defeat against QPR. Sunderland with that 1-0 win over Derby, and I fancy Sunderland to take all 3 points here and a 2-0 home win. We then move to the Hawthorns, where West Brom take on Portsmouth. Portsmouth looking good now. 2 wins in the last 2 matches. A decent 3-1 win against Stoke, and West Brom losing away against Middlesbrough, back on their home turf at the Hawthorns. I think I'm going to have to go for a draw, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. The bookies there, odds of 1.62 for West Brom to win this match. And the final fixture of this game week sees us move to Fratton Park. Now, earlier in the season, this is a rearranged fixture. I predicted 1-1, and I think I'm going to stick with that one. I think Portsmouth will get 2 draws this game week, and I'm going to stick with Portsmouth 1, Millwall 1. So those are my predictions for game week 29. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website or as a comment below. But for now, enjoy your championship weekend, whoever you support in the league, and I'll see you all in the next video.